We're going to go ahead and get started. Rodney, you ready? Okay. We're going to do our best to make this a very, very brief meeting with the snowstorm that's outside so that we can let people get home back safely. So I'd ask for a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Thank you very much. It's right, just turn to your left just a little bit.
Turn one more to your left.
There you go, perfect. All right, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So good evening, everybody. If you're watching on Facebook or Channel 3, we've got a few council members calling in this evening due to the weather. We've got some of us here. So we're going to go ahead and try to breeze through this meeting nice and quickly. So first up, in our department board reports, we have Amby Jenkins.
Okay, hello, and let's get started. Balances December 31st, 2021 in general fund money market and checking $1,155,162 with a CD of $86,093. Historic landmark savings $3,026. Stalker Youth Center capital campaign, we had a few donations, small ones from Dave McCauley and Pam Martin. So it's up to $440,847. Coal tax $56,155. Municipal stabilization fund $914,862. Flood control account $78,253. Consolidated public works $195,540. Cemetery CD $234,188. Sales tax $1,901,397. American Rescue Plan $1,401,444. Want to remind everybody that we're taking the applications for the probationary firefighter until January 10th and the managing director of the Colonial Art Center until January 15th. Also remind you that the filing for the election of the 2 council seats and the recorder's position begins Monday, January the 10th. We had the letter of map revision came back from the the surveyor who did the surveys for our Mudlick property, the newly acquired, and it is deemed it is not in the floodplain. So I've sent that information to the insurance company and to the bank to remove that, and we should be able to get some refund on our flood insurance policy. We had to pay $5,883 a year on that policy, so we'll get some of that back. That's my financial report. Your revenues and expenditures are in there. Your bills to be approved. There were several bills per the budget of entities that got paid for the second half. Development Authority, Upshur County Development Authority, $25,000. Almost skip down to the bigger ones. $7,500 to the Airport Authority for their part of the budget. $5,000 Country Roads Transit, their second half of the budget. $2,500 to the Health Department. $3,184 to Commercial Builders Incorporated. That was for labor, construction labor at the theater. And $128,899 to Appalachian Equipment Solutions for the wheel loader. And by the way, it's setting right outside the window there. So that's what you paid for. That piece of equipment setting out there.
Coming in.
And that's really all I have. Your revenues and expenditures are in there. If you see anything you have any questions about there, I'd be happy to answer that.
Okay. Let's move down to F1.
Okay, F1, approval of the lease agreement for a postage machine with Comax Business Systems. Our lease is up on our postage and inserter machine. So I shopped around. It was hard, really. We don't usually have many people that have those types of machines, but so we got a quote from 2 companies, Pitney Bowes and Comax. The 2 quotes came in, Pitney Bowes at $662 a month and Comax at $377. And our original contract with Pitney Bowes is $881, so Pitney Bowes actually dropped theirs. But we'd like to try to go with Comax this time. It's quite a bit less, and we'd like to at least try that one. They know there's a non-appropriation clause in there, so if it doesn't work out, we would probably have to pay off the lease part that we would be able to get out of that contract. They do have a non-appropriations clause in your packet. So if I could go cut Comax, we'd like to try it.
Okay, I entertain a motion that we approve the request.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Thomas, a second by Mr. Rylands. Hearing the need for no further discussion, I'll call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Like sign opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you. F2.
Approval to advertise to auction the two pieces of properties that we purchased through a tax sale, one at 39 Sedgwick Street, the other one at 31 Upper Drive. We cleared the property at Upper Drive because it was a problem at residence. It had mold, deterioration of the property, so it's just the two lots. 39 Sedgwick has a house on it. I'm trying to get some quotes from real estate auction companies because we have to advertise and auction the property. And I'd like you to approve us proceeding with that process. I'm sure I'll have more information for you when I come back to the next meeting about who we would choose to go with, but we'd like approval to begin the process to start that auction.
I'll entertain a motion to that request.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Randy, we have a second by, we'll give it to Jack since he's on the telephone. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Like sign opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and F3, budget revision.
Approval of the budget revision number 3 for the general fund for fiscal year 21-22. In your packet, I always give you a detailed line item list of things that I need the budget revision for. We ended December, and I like to look at the budget again and determine what, kind of clear out anything that we need to with the budget. In the list, there's several line items. Mayor's dues, we need to add at $1,616 to it, and you always see that I add notes to the side. We had home rule dues that we had to pay this year, so I had to increase that line item. Police judge training, $150, because the training was more than we anticipated. She did it virtually, but it cost more. Theater capital, now those are the line items there. We are currently using outsourcing the labor up there for the contractor. We put in a sprinkler system. We purchased 2 chair lifts. One was paid by a grant, the other one was not. So I had tried to contact Bryce, and he's going to back some numbers, but we know we have the contractor still working there. I'd like to raise that to $70,000 more to cover that contractor. I anticipate that they will eventually hire a manager up there. They're taking applications right now, so I wanted to be prepared for that. So I estimated the salary for 5 to 6 months at $20,000. You will determine that, but I needed to put those budget in there with the health insurance and those payroll expenses. The building, since we are beginning, there was a comment in the last theater meeting that it may be usable at the end of February, 1st of March. So I want to get the utilities separated out of that line item we've been pulling it out of because there was some supplies put in there too. So I want to put in the theater building $5,000 for the garbage and things that were put in there. Small material items, and then I want to set up a utility count for $2,000 to take the utilities out of there for the phone, the electric, and the gas and garbage. Stockert capital campaign, the property purchase, that's the property right across the street here. The Perry property, we paid $1,000 earnest, $49,000 is due. That's a line item that was added. We have an election this year. We join with the county and pay them for the materials and all the setup work of the material costs of that, and that's $10,000. Fire auto supplies, $11,515. 2 trucks were damaged as a result of the fire in October. We've received money back from the insurance company. but we have to make the expense out of their expense line item, so we're putting that back in there. City Hall's capital campaign, for the second phase of the roof and the video audio system, now we're getting $3,600, we did already get $3,663 back from the county towards this audio video sound system that you can see here now. And I kind of just summarized everything we've yet to pay, but I need $92,000 added to that for those, mostly the roof and the sound system. And then Stockard Auto, the bus broke down. It had to have some repairs done that were unexpected. It's $2,500. In your revenues, to offset the expenditures, I should tell you the entire amount of that budget revision is $371,311. I adjusted in revenue side to offset that $16,000 for prior year taxes. We've collected more than we anticipated. Just to kind of clear up, I didn't want to take like the election out of sales tax, so B&O could be up just a little bit, so I kind of cleared that up with B&O, $7,987. Theater donations, we received $5,000 from First Energy and $5,000 from Art 26201 for the facade. That's an additional $10,000. And then as, this is a pure guess, as we start collecting fees for use of the theater, I put $10,000 in there. And then the contribution from sales tax, and again, that relates back to the property purchase, the theater construction, the roof at City Hall, and the sound system to kind of compensate all those things, $312,146. And then the $15,178 is miscellaneous revenue, where those checks were put for the fire truck and the sound system. So that balances out the revenues and expenditures of $371,311.
Are there any questions from council members for Amby?
It's a significant amount of money, but we're buying property and we're opening new facilities and we're bringing City Hall into better maintenance that we don't have to.
A lot of money in City Hall this year, but I truly appreciate it. As you can see, we just had another leak back there.
With the new roof,
No, this is the other roof, that's the second phase.
well, we're moving forward though. So.
Yes, it's great. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for your report.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. If there are no further questions or comments regarding the budget revision, this is a resolution, so we will need to do a roll call. So I will defer to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
We're going to get a motion first.
That's right, we do need a motion. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion by Thomas, second by Randy. Now we can go toward the roll call.
All right. Mrs. Lewis Signs.
Yes.
Mrs. Bucklew.
Yes.
Mr. Rigger.
Yes.
Mr. Rylance.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mr. Sanders votes yes. Mr. Skinner.
Yes.
And we'll need these, for those of you on the phone, you'll need to stop in and sign this when the weather breaks, and you can do so. All right, Mr. Mayor, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, sir. And thank you again, Amby. It's okay with everybody. Amby's going to head home, so we'll see you later. Please be careful.
Thank you.
Be careful.
Take care, Andy. Be safe.
Okay. Let's do Jerry Arnold next. You want to go out, maybe help her clean her car off? I appreciate that.
Okay, let's get through this quickly.
If you need a brush, there's one in the back of my truck.
In the back of it?
Yeah. Actually, no, it's in the front. It's in the front seat, or it's in the front passenger.
We're working on the waste collection operation strategic plan. I'm also pursuing accreditation from the Department of Transportation for federal motor carriers to provide in-house commercial driver's training. That's kind of a new one that snuck up on us. The street crews continue to work on the greenhouse and working on the construction of the Salt shed, we've not got that moved. We've got the salt moved inside of one of the buildings, but we have to have a construct the shed to store it in. Sewer crews have been working on the Wilt Taransky project in Vicksburg, and they finished up their quarterly lab testing. The water has also been working on that same Wilt Taransky project, and they're working on the Valley Green Master meter installation and reviewing maps and notes of all service lines as requested by the EPA for this new lead and copper program that's going on. The Waste Department, the board approved the hiring of a temporary employee, tabled discussion of a rate increase, and approved the relocation of the waste garage to the new facility. Under the Flowers, as I get updates with Flowers, I've kind of added that to my report. Dixie's ordering in the plugs to start the greenhouse, upon its completion, and she'll be attending the January 20th meeting to give an update on things there. CJ and Create Buckhannon is working on new baskets made from galvanized containers with built-in water reservoirs. These baskets will help reduce the heat shock to the plants during hot days. Jay's report, the FEMA generator grant 2, contractor started installation of electrical conduit construction of generator pad at the water treatment plant on Monday, January 3rd. Grant number 1, the FEMA's approved the review of the change of scope for budget revision 3 for an additional $63,000. Revised notice of award and notice to proceed were submitted to the contractors on Tuesday. All materials and equipment necessary for the 3 contracts are being ordered immediately due to the anticipated wait time the construction industry is experiencing. City Hall roof, as Amby said, phase 1 is completed. There was a change order of $87,000 on that, and the phase 2 will commence, and the total cost in the roof replacement of City Hall once phase 2 is completed is $198,854.60. Cost something to put a roof over our head.
That's significant.
Keep saying we're in the wrong business.
You're right. Stockard Youth and Community Center Multi-Purpose Facility Project, the board meeting was held on January 3rd. The Mills Group presented a conceptual drawing of the facility, which consisted of a 2-story gymnasium, a single-story office area, and a bus drop-off loop. The estimated cost of the facility is $3.2 million. Representative from the Stockard Youth and Community Board will come to the January 20th meeting of City Council to present information. Wamsby Facility Site Tours. Compilation of the information provided by the 2 temporary bleachers companies were completed the week of December 12th, and it is estimated that an additional 4,632 seats for a total of 5,644 seats can be temporarily installed at WVWC for $127,500, and it's estimated another 2,500 seats for a total of 7,250 can be temporarily installed at the high school for $72,750. That's all I have under my report, other than we do have trucks out. I just got a text from Brad that one of them broke down, so I'll be going back out to the shop and try to help get that back underway. But with the snow that we have coming down now, well, right now it's kind of walled off, but it will take us a little bit to catch up. Please be careful, drive safe, and we'll get it cleaned up tomorrow, hopefully. That's all I have, Mayor, unless there's questions from council.
Any questions for Jerry?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Go back and better be careful.
Be safe.
Careful.
All right, be careful going home. Chief Kimball.
Good evening, everybody.
How you doing?
It is bad out. So. Of course, my recommendation is if everybody stays home, you don't have to get to see me tonight.
How much are they calling for, Jay?
Up to 12 inches now.
Up to 12?
They just updated. They actually have a Weather Channel gentleman in Charleston, West Virginia, and you don't see that very often. So I'm sure the mayor's girlfriend's having problems down there. So.
Yeah, she's got to go to work tonight, I think.
So in your packet, you'll see the call volume. We actually, I have some of the totals for the end of the year, but next month I'll have a total year in. Through November, we were actually at 1,200 calls for service, and we had 93 calls in December, so we're 1,293. That's up very slightly over last year, so you can look at those in your packet. On the front page, Incident statistics for the alarm to arrival. There's some good information there. If you look, pre-incident value of the fires that we've responded to, $11,145,400, and the losses was $3 million. So basically an $8 million save over a year. And those are calculated based on tax information. We have to have a fire loss generation for the end of the year. So I got some great information here. Training of the two new hires. In their first month, they pulled a total of 3,700 feet of 1 3/4 hose, 3,000 feet of 2 inch and 2.5, which is a lot of times together, 600 feet of supply line, which is a total of 7,300 feet of hose line that was pulled in training, which is 1.4 miles of hose, which is a lot of hose. We do a lot of ladder throwing, individual ladder throwing and team ladder throws. When you get up to a 35-foot, 3-fly ladder, they're pretty hard to throw by yourself. I know Captain Baxa can throw one by himself, but he's a pretty big lad. So if you look down through there, a total of 2,472 foot of ladders was thrown in the month. Look down that says doors forced. We have a training door prop that teaches you how to force doors or non-destructively sometimes. We have lock pullers and stuff like that. But they, between the two of them was 105 inward swinging pops, 86 outward swinging pops for a total of 191 door breaches. They did 9 hydrant connections, and each one of them did, each shift, they're required to do 30 minutes of physical fitness. So each one of them did that on 13 occasions. Just some interesting information. I'm thinking about next council meeting, bringing them in, if you all have any questions, how things are going and how they feel about their position and what they're learning. It's really refreshing to see the open-mindedness and the agility they want to go at them at their full force. They want to go, and they're out here helping. We've actually some good news that hopefully we'll be presenting later on. We were part of another CPR save about a week ago. We're waiting for the total outcome to come out before we do anything about it, but that's several CPR saves we've been involved with over the past year. If you remember, we had an event at the firehouse just after Christmas Eve last year for a gentleman, and that's part of our Heart Safe initiative to produce quick CPR access, teaching people to do bystander CPR, and this occasion again, CPR was administered by a bystander, so that's a big refresher. The mayor and 2 of our members of the truck committee went to Columbus, Ohio, reviewed our new fire engine. We're expecting it by the end of the month. It could be a couple weeks, it could be materials and stuff. It is completed. It was going across the street to get some equipment mounted on it. You know, it's like they say, if they get a COVID go through there, people are off and stuff like that, it can affect that. Very good looking, very well planned out piece of apparatus. The mayor was there. I'm sure he was treated well by the company, as well as the 2 from the truck committee. So, January 18th, the mayor, Mr. Jerry Arnold, Captain Baxter, our training officer, and myself are visiting Bridgeport Fire Department. We're going to look at their training facility that's behind their main station in downtown Bridgeport, just to take a look and see what they have. Jerry and the mayor and I have spoken about some property out here the city already owns at the waste department. So that'll be being looked at. We'll go over there. I've spoken to Jerry Arnold. They're talking about doing a Cdl training class at the waste department through them. I would like to get some of our drivers certified Cdl license. That's just an extra blanket of protection for the city. If they have that Cdl license, if we're in an incident, it proves that they know how to operate the truck in a court of law. Right now, firefighters are not required. I have mine, and I just feel it would be a positive note for the city. So, we have the mapping completed for the fire districts. I'm waiting for one additional fire chief to come in and sign it. I spoke to him last night. He's going to try to be in this week. He works for the Department of Highways, and I'm sure he's working 12-hour shifts right now. So as soon as that's completed, that map will be turned over to the Fire Commission for approval, and then we can update our response district with our response boxes for the accreditation process. And that's about all I have, unless y'all have some questions.
Any questions for Chief Kimball?
Thanks, Chief.
Do you want to go ahead and discuss
Yeah,
F4?
If you want. F4, let me get my paper there.
Council, for your reference, in the very back of your packet, is where, under the standards of cover, is what we're referencing.
So through the accreditation, we have to annually have approved what the fire department responds to on a regular basis, and the standards of coverage we try to achieve, which is, we try to achieve 4 people on a vehicle fire. We try to achieve X amount of people on a car wreck with entrapment. And those are the way we gauge whether we have enough people responding and whether we need to get more mutual aid, or later on you look at how many people does it take. And those are all standards. The NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, puts forth. So we're trying to achieve that. It's very difficult, but this part here, the accreditation committee, we met and discussed it. It's the same as it has been for the last couple of years. It just needs reapproved by the council that this is what we're expecting. And we also talked about NFPA 1720, which is staffing and response times. And I've met with Tom O'Neill, and we're going to be working on that in the near future, adjusting some of that. So.
But didn't we change some of the response zones, work with the county and the volunteers?
That was the mapping thing that I just discussed. And
Right.
as soon as it goes in, but what we respond to will still be the same in those districts. Now, if you recall, we don't do automatic medical call, emergency medical calls outside the city limits. If Upshur EMS is busy and they have a true emergency medical call at the bowling alley or Children's Run, they can request us and we respond. But inside the city, those are automatic responses. So that's the only difference as far as what we respond to, whether it's in the city or outside the city.
That was the same last year as well,
Yeah,
right?
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? If not, I entertain a motion that we accept the standards of cover by the Buckhannon Fire Department for the accreditation process.
So moved.
Second.
So moved.
Give it to
We'll give the motion to Rylands. We'll give the second to Pam.
Yeah, she was in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give both.
Can't do thirds.
Watch out, you might be walking home. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Chief.
thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Toby.
You
Yeah,
too.
careful, you too.
Okay, we are down to correspondence and information. Several things in the packet. We've got a couple FOIA requests. We always get one from Smart Procure about vendor information, and we have one from James David from Buckingham Police Department activity log for 2020. We have a notice of accreditation, or notice of accepting application for the position of Colonial Arts Theater Managing Director. With a report of the cat and dog activity, letter from the Office of State Auditor about sharing of the proceeds of the Tax Loss Restoration Fund. We got a FEMA letter map amendment determination. This is what Amby referenced. The property at 395 Mudlick Road is now out of the flood zone, which will save the city money. We will no longer have to purchase flood insurance on that property. We've got a couple of PR stories that Mr. Sanders put together for us. Lowe's of Buckhannon helped with the Mayfield, Kentucky disaster donations, headed up by David Beckner. Appreciate Cody McGee from Lowe's stepping up with that effort. And then, as JB alluded to, I went up to Columbus with some of the firefighters to inspect and sign off on our brand new Engine 11. We'll be here soon. We have the state auditor's 2022 budget preparation regional workshops. That schedule is in the packet. Boinks Barbecue, they filled out a zoning form to the ABCA. We have the State Tax Department Property Valuation Fund budget fiscal year 22 and 23. And finally, notice of financial statement, Atlantic Coast Pipeline Restoration Project and Supply Header Restoration Project. Excuse me. All of those are in your packet. Under the consent agenda, we have the regular meeting minutes of the December 16th meeting. We have the approval of the payment of the bills and the approval of the building and wiring permits. If there are no additions or corrections to the consent agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Thomas. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Sheila Sines. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Like sign opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we are down to council comments and announcements. We'll start here in the room to my left with CJ.
Everyone be safe out there. It's slick and it's cold and you don't want to get stuck out in the snow, so that's it.
All right. Mr. Thomas?
Yeah, I have several comments, but I'll save them until next council meeting. The one thing I've been asked about, Robbie, was why there's such a difference in the price of gasoline between Weston, Buckhannon, and Hopkins and so forth. If I recall, you wrote a letter to the Attorney
I
General.
can't hear him, I'm sorry.
Hold on a second. Let me go get the microphone.
Okay.
When Kroger's opens their gas station, the prices will modify.
Yeah.
Go ahead now.
Okay, if I recall back in 2017, you wrote the Attorney General about the difference in regard to gas prices
Yes.
in the local communities. Has that been put on the website, you know, our website?
I don't know if it has or not. I don't believe so.
We ought to consider that, so people understand that we did ask this question 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Everybody be safe, be careful.
Mr. Sanders?
I was going to talk about the audio and video upgrades in the chambers, but since the other members, many of the members are not here, I won't go through a complete detail, but I will say that within the next couple of weeks, pending the arrival of our new microphones, that's the only thing holding us up now, we should be completely upgraded so that those that do call in and participate with GoToMeeting can do so with a much better quality of sound, interfaced with all of the microphones. We have new speakers in chambers and new television monitor added, so I'll show it in a more detailed way when we have a full council present. Other than that, everybody be safe out there in this weather.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. On the phone, Pam.
People keep asking me, what's the status with the burnt building downtown? When will it be coming down?
The property owners that own both buildings affected are working together. The other building has now been deemed a total loss, and so they will be most likely coming down together. That is a critical piece of the puzzle due to the fact that there is a shared wall with both structures. So it cleans it up much better now. So that process is in the works.
Okay, thank you. And just everybody be safe out there. It's very slick.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jack.
Well, I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas and a good New Year. And just good to hear everyone's voice. And look forward to the new microphones ringing. So you guys, that's about all I have.
Thank you, sir. And Sheila.
I too am looking forward to the new microphones and the whole setup, and I hope that everybody please stay safe out there when you're traveling home, and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have any pressing comments. I too hope everyone stays safe tonight and tomorrow morning traveling. If you don't have to go out, please don't. Our city crews are out working on streets to try to get those clear, as well as the DOH. So please, if you are out, please be patient as we work to clear our streets and roadways for necessary travel. I would entertain a motion that at 7:35 we adjourn.
It's a record.
Okay.